Hello everybody, this is Kyrix welcoming you to the start of my latest Let's Play. This is Let's Play Final Fantasy IV DS. And I'm going to have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to have to be quiet for the opening cinematics. So, I'll see you at the end of the cutscenes.
Lord Captain, we're nearly to the Baron border.
So we are.
The trouble's here, too. Orders may be orders, but this goes too far. Lord Captain! We're the Red Wings, the pride of Baron! Must we now be thieves, sent to plunder from the weak?
Enough.
But Lord Captain, the Mysidians offered no resistance, and still we cut them down.
Listen to me. We did no more than what our kingdom's peace and prosperity required us to do. The Mysidians knew too much of the crystal and its secrets. His Majesty deemed it so. We are the Red Wings of Baron. It is not our place to question the orders of our king.
Lord Captain.
Lord Captain! Monsters at the door! Everyone all right?
But all these monsters as of late. Disturbing, is it not? I wonder what it bodes. We've reached the castle, my lord.
Well then, prepare for landing then.
My lord!
Okay, I'm back with the commentary now. I apologize for the somewhat echoey quality of the audio. I've literally scrapped this recording 6 times over the past 3 months because I didn't like the sound, or I didn't like the visuals, or I screwed something up. It has taken so many attempts to actually get this video started. But, anyway, this game is unbelievably special to me because this is the Final Fantasy game for me that started them all. Without this, I wouldn't have played 3, which for us is 6. I wouldn't have played 7 or 8, and those were mistakes on my part. I wouldn't have played 9, 10, 10-2, 12. The first Final Fantasy, the second one, Pony Fantasy 6, none of those. I never would have played any of them. And I probably wouldn't be into the RPG genre the way I am without this game. This game set the standard for RPGs for me, for what I would expect in the future. This started out, and incidentally, this is a game I never would have rented for myself. When I used to go up to the local Albertsons for renting stuff, I would see this game, and I just passed right over it. It didn't interest me. I'm like, what the heck is Final Fantasy? That sounds stupid, you know? One of my friends, God, how old were we? We were... I think he moved before I hit middle school. I want to say between the 3rd and the 5th grade. I can't be sure without looking up years and stuff, but... I'm sorry, I keep going through this text. I'll paraphrase the text in a minute. Let me tell my story, I guess. He came over one day, having rented this game, and decided, hey, let's play this thing together. Of course, this was not a two-player game, so what he did was he named a character after me, that character being Cain. Now, but I sat here and watched, and I helped with stuff, and every now and then I'd get the controller. And I was just mesmerized by this game. It was just... I don't know what about it was so interesting to me at that age, but I was just blown away by it. I'd never played a game like this. I guess the closest I'd ever come to a game like this was the original Dragon Warrior. Because at the time I hadn't played Dragon Warrior 2 and 3 and all that. Well, I still haven't played 3, come to think of it, but... yeah. And then, of course, when I played Final Fantasy VI, oh, it was just over. It was done. I was hooked on RPGs forever. Now, what I glossed over by telling my story is me taking orders from the king to, well, first off, I basically told the king, was that really necessary? Did we really have to kill all those people? And he decided, you know what, if you're not going to be loyal to me, you're not going to be the commander of the Red Wings anymore. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to demote you. I'm going to take the Red Wings from you. That'll become important later. Well, not much later, but later-ish. Anyway, he says, okay, I want you to deliver this to the Village of Mist. And Cain, of course, is my buddy, and he's like, you know what? You can't do this to him. He's like, fine, you go with him. So, yeah. I don't know if this was in the original Super Nintendo version, but this is basically the retelling of the story of how those two met. Anyway, this Final Fantasy, more than any other reason, is the reason I do not like Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I suppose I could get past the abundance of technology in 7, because that was my initial thing was... Well, first off, when I saw the trailer for Final Fantasy VII, my first thing was, oh my god, this game looks horrible. This is the most ridiculous, stupid-looking game I've ever seen. And it does. The graphics... I'm not a graphics guy. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not a graphics guy. To me, graphics are a perk, if anything. But, oh god, 7's graphics look like ass. They definitely didn't sell me on the graphics with that game. Of course, you know, I'm not a graphics guy, and I told myself, you know what, you're not a graphics person. Don't judge this game based on how it looks. Give it a try. It's a Final Fantasy. You've played 2 others, 4 and 6, or in my case 2 and 3 at the time. It can't be that bad, right? The other 2 are great. Maybe this one's great too. And I did have fun with it, I will say that. My problem with Final Fantasy VII, and this will be a big topic for this first video. Well, let me get through this first. By the way, this is the game that taught me the pronunciation of his name was Cecil and not Cecil. Who knew? But hey, the official audio says Cecil, so we're going to go with Cecil. Then again, I can't really use that excuse, because I've watched Star Ocean EX and I refuse to call the blonde hero Claude, because it's clearly Claude. I can speak English. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII was sold on the basis of 3 things. 1, that Cloud is an awesome hero. No, he's not. He's a boring hero. He's the least interesting of all the main characters to me. I cannot stand him. And they made it worse with Final Fantasy VIII by recycling him into Squall. I literally refer to the 2 of them as Squoud. I consider them interchangeable. I would bet you money that if you were to take Cloud and put him in Squall's put his personality in Squall's body and Squall's personality in his body, you would not tell them apart. You would not be able to tell the difference between the 2. Number 2, Sephiroth is an amazing villain. No, I'm sorry, Sephiroth is a horrible villain, a pathetic villain. You want a good villain? Kefka. Sephiroth, oh, I'm gonna maybe drop a meteor on the planet because I have mommy issues. Kefka, I'm gonna kill everyone on the planet for shits and giggles. Kuja, what? I'm not allowed to live? Well, then I'm gonna kill everything in the universe. If I can't be alive, nothing will. Those are villains. Sephiroth is a long-haired pretty boy with mommy issues. Period. And he's not even that strong. Supposedly, I read something somewhere that actually decreased his stock to me as a person, as a character for him, when it said that Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy VII universe was the be-all and end-all, the most powerful being alive. And I thought back to when I fought Sephiroth, and thought, really? Because don't get me wrong, when I first fought Sephiroth, it was a 2-hour grind to kill him. And that led to a disappointment that I'll get into in a minute, but that was before Knights of the Round. You hit him with Knights of the Round, he's freaking done. The story that led to the disappointment, and I'm gonna get into this now. This is where Cid came from, I believe. Yeah? Yeah. Nothing really to mess with here, but I'm gonna wander around to kill time for my story. Anyway, I had gotten to Disc 3 of Final Fantasy VII, and I'm thinking, Disc 3, there must be so much more to do. I'm gonna fight Kefka, or I'm projecting. I want a real villain. I'm gonna fight Sephiroth, and then I'm gonna stop Meteor, and then I'm gonna get Aeris back and all this crap, you know? Because that's what I thought was gonna happen. Well, I had rented the game, and it was due that day. So I walked up to the video store, re-rented it, came home with it, beat Sephiroth, and saw the credits roll? But I'd seen the airship split off into this cool new mini rocket airship, and I wanted it, and credits rolled. I'm like, really? That's the end of the game? So I promptly walked back up there and said, I rented this thinking there was more to the game. It's over. Can I swap it out? And I did. But, again, Knights of the Round. When I discovered Knights of the Round... I'll get into this in a minute. He wants me to change my name. I'm going to do it just for the heck of it. Just because. Because it'll make more sense if I do it this way. Because last time, when I first did this, I didn't try, and well, you'll see. He's shocked. He can't change my name. Because he speaks the names. Anyway. When I discovered Knights of the Round, let me put it this way. I had it set up. I went to Genova Synthesis. My party was friggin' Cloud, Tifa, and Barret. All had their limit breaks up. Each one hit Genova with their limit break, killed her. Bizarro Sephiroth comes up. 2 hits of the Knights of the Round, dead. I think I had Mimic in the party, that's how I was able to do it twice. Safer Sephiroth comes up, 1 hit from Knights of the Round, dead. Last version Sephiroth, hit him an Omni Slash, dead. Period. Done. He's the most powerful thing in the world. Meanwhile, if I tried that crap against Emerald Weapon, he'd have handed me my ass. So yeah, I can't take Sephiroth seriously as a villain. He didn't even do anything. Seriously. Meteor was a vague threat, if anything. But anyway, yeah. And reason number 3. And this is where... Oh, no. Speaky parts. I shut up now.
Your Majesty, what's become of you? Where is the noble knight, the man who took me in as an orphan and raised me as his own? The strong, just king I once knew. Is a crystal worth all this? Robbing a peaceful people of what's theirs by right. What need could be so great? King's
2 moons.
no. There's no forgiving what we've done.
There are 2 moons. That's important. Keep that in mind for later.
Cecil? Won't you tell me what happened? First you're sent off to Mysidia, and now to hunt some beast again so soon? Did something happen in Mysidia?
No, it's nothing.
Then why won't you look at me?
In Mysidia, we stole a crystal from people who had done no wrong. I've worn this darkened armor for so long now. There's no mote of light left in me. Not even in my heart.
You're a good man, Cecil.
I'm a coward. A coward who cannot even defy orders he knows he ought not follow.
Cecil of the Red Wings is many things, but he is no coward. Not the Cecil who I love. The king is sending you to Risk to slay the Eidolon, isn't he? If anything were to happen to you, I couldn't...
King will be with me. I'll be fine. It's late. You should get some rest.
Be careful.
There's going to be a lot of these little pauses in this early part of the game, and I apologize. This is probably going to be a long video because of them.
But I know what I've become.
But, matter of fact, there's another one coming up soon, so I can just let you all soak in this awesome music.
Shall we then, Cecil?
I'll be counting on you, my friend.
Then you've nothing to fear.
This music. It took me decades to appreciate this music for the awesome thing it was. As a kid, this scene was all about pausing the game so that I couldn't do anything because it was an unskippable text. And I never bothered to enjoy the music because it was just some stupid little dialogue scroll, but this music is amazing. Okay, that was really good music. Now, I'm going to finish up the original story and finally say what Part 3 of why I don't like Final Fantasy VII is. And I know there are lots of Final Fantasy VII fanboys and girls who are going to hate me for saying this. Of all the anti-Final Fantasy sins I have committed so far, this one is by far the worst. The death of Aerith. And no, I refuse to call her Aerith, because I had a version of this game. And it didn't say Aerith, it said Aeris. Just like I refuse to call Sonic's enemy Dr. Eggman, because Dr. Robotnik was a much more dignified name. But anyway, the death of Aeris. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't. She's a sweet girl and all, she really is. But as a character, she wasn't that good. And it just came out of nowhere. And to be perfectly honest, you remember me talking about what I thought was going to consist in the game of what was going to happen in Disc 3? One of those things was bring Aerith back. I thoroughly believed, because of this game, that she would turn out to be alive in the end. Right? Ah, history of shipbuilding. So yeah, it never really affected me until the credits were over, and by then I was like, oh well. But I'm supposed to feel for that one girl after watching Kefka kill everybody on the planet. Just about. I mean, he missed a couple, but I'd say he must have gotten like 75% mortality. Something like that. He destroyed the world. Flat out. Destroyed the world so thoroughly that the heroes couldn't even bring themselves to do anything about it. And each one of them had a quest designed to get them out of their funk so that they could come back and be people again. Now, and then there's the stuff that's going to happen in this game. But on that note, let's talk about this game. This game has a feature that sets it apart from the other remakes of it. And that is the auto battle system. For the moment, it's nothing flashy, just attack, attack, attack. I can go into battle and press on my controller the Y button. Yours may vary. And I'm using a 360 controller, by the way. And it will activate auto battle. Your characters will do a pre-specified move. This will be how I deal with the grinding in this game. With very few exceptions, it'll be all auto battle, except for bosses. Anyway, of all the remakes of this game, and to my knowledge there have been 3. There's the original, the Super Nintendo version, which we got easy mode of. There's the PlayStation version, which I own, Final Fantasy Chronicles. There's Final Fantasy IV Advanced, for the Game Boy Advanced. And then there's this version. It could be argued that Advanced is equally as good as this, because in Advanced you can get back party members you lose. That's why I argue against it, because this is a much more true telling of the story. Once the character's gone, they're just gone. You have to deal with it. Okay, I kinda need to run. There's a reason for that, by the way. Run, 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 run. Run, please. Run, 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 please. Thank you. And that's the reason. Reason being, I haven't saved yet, and I don't want to start that whole thing over again. Because that would be embarrassing. No cockatrice? Yup, definitely cockatrice. Run like hell. Run, Cecil! Run like the wind! Anyway, this game is simultaneously easier and harder than every other version. It's easier because I can auto-battle, some characters start at better levels. They translated what everything does properly. I have maps. Completing those maps will give me items. I have the ability to keep abilities. For example, when certain members of my party leave, I can get their special abilities. I'm not going to specify for those of you who somehow have never seen this game before. But it's a thing. But on the other hand, they've made it harder. They've taken bosses and given them tactics that make them ferocious. One specifically comes to mind, the Fiend of Water, Cagnazzo. In the original Super Nintendo and PlayStation versions of this game, he's a joke. You just hit him with lightning and he dies. He's the only one I never had trouble with. In this game, if you don't tackle him just right, he will destroy you, obliterate you. He nukes you. He's a freaking nuke. I'm using this grinding, by the way, as a chance to monologue. And I do need to grind a little bit. But anyway, fortunately I know the trick to fighting him. But yeah, some bosses are made much harder. The fact that there's voice acting, that there's just so many ways to play this game. It's a good game and I like it. I like the setup of it, I like the auto battle, I like the ability to augment. I like the voice acting. I love everything about this game. I really do. I love that the overworld is easier, but the bosses are harder. I love that. And that's why I chose this and not one of the other versions. Because I could hook the capture card up right now and play some Chronicles. Final Fantasy IV. No problem. I can do that. But I don't want to. I want to play this game. Even with all its little technical glitches, I want to play this. And I want to play it for all of you. Now, this game has a semi-new game plus. There are certain items that, when I beat the game, I can... Nope, we're not doing this crap. I don't have the items to cure. Anyway, there are certain items that when I beat the game will stay with me, certain special, rare items. Also, any of my augments will stay, and any augments I've assigned will stay. The game can be beaten a total of 3 times, and then the file is locked. The idea being that by the 3rd game you can max out all of your final character stats to 99999 whatever. For a while, I was considering doing that. Not showing the second one, but showing the first run and the final run, and showing you how to 100%, but it just, there's not enough variation. All you're gonna see is me breeze through with new abilities. And I mean, if you want to see that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do another run. You give me, let's say I get 50 requests for it from different people, I'll do it. Oh, here he is, it's Naming Way. Mapping Way, the cartographer. This is important. This starts the Naming Way quest, which is something really awesome. This is something I like, because Naming Way was only really valuable in the previous games if you wanted to change your name. And I've long since gotten past the part where I want to change the name to make the characters into me, etc., you know. So Naming Way was just kind of there. He served no purpose. This gives him a purpose. It takes him... Because let's face it, he has no place in a game with voice acting where they say your name. That's why in Final Fantasy X you couldn't change any of the characters' names because they were voice acted. You know? But they decided to give him a whole new aspect to him. A really good aspect of that. There is one thing I'm going to have to do, well, let me put it this way, if I want to get it done in a timely fashion, I'm going to have to do it. I think I have a cheat somewhere to make rare items appear faster or something. There's a specific rare item I need for the Naming Way quest, and if I don't get it, I can't finish the quest. And it's not a matter of it being a difficult monster to get or anything. It's just that there's like a 1% drop rate, so I have to fight thousands of the damn things to get it to drop. You know? I could literally grind 30 levels trying to get this thing to drop once. I mean, I've tried to get the rare items before. There's a special thing you can get later, a special augment that makes them drop more. And using those augments... I think I was trying to get rare items for another side quest. I fought something in the neighborhood of 400 enemies to get 2 of them to drop. And the same thing had happened trying to get this item for the Naming Way quest, and I don't want to do that. It's not that I can't do it, it's that it's a pain in the ass. Please don't make me do it that way. We'll see what happens. I could get lucky, you know? But chances are that item is going to get cheated in, because that's the only item, by the way. There are other items that I can get that that will give me amazing armor and weapons if I turn them in. I'm not going to cheat those in. I will get those legitimately if I get them at all. You have my word on that. But this one little item for Naming Way, I might cheat in, because otherwise, I'm going to have to backtrack to all hell to complete the rest of his quest instead of just stumbling across him normally the way I should. You know? But if I get him this item, it'll make things so much easier for me in the long run as for finishing his quest. So I'm probably going to do that. And yes, I'm going to backtrack to heal. I do have healing items, but I don't want to use them yet. Because pretty soon I'm going to need money. Lots of money. Anyway. I went over naming way, mapping way now. Yeah, talked about 7. Talked about some of the new features of this game, trying not to give away any spoilers. What other things can I talk about? I've got stories. Stories about this game, even. For example, it's not a spoiler to tell you that we lose Kain very early on, and that later on we get a bard named Edward. Or Gilbert, depending on your translation. I don't know how you got Gilbert from Edward, but okay. Anyway, remember how I said my friend named Kain after me? Well, when Kain disappeared, we thought he was gone for good. So the next male character we got, who wasn't friggin' old, was named after me, and that was Edward. Now, sometimes my attention for detail kind of sucks. So there's a scene later on where we get the two of them in the same room together, and I ended up, well, it's not that big a spoiler. Kain turns out to be evil. I won't get into why, but he does. And anyway, Edward trips, and we rush back to get him, and then we go into a room, and Kain shows up, evil, and tries to kill us. Well, it took me a couple minutes to realize what was going on. I thought that I tripped and became evil. So, yeah, fun story. Anyway, I am almost... How many things do I have, anyway? 2. Ugh. By the way, you can see their thoughts, and they always have different ones. By pressing what for me is the X button, which would have been Y on the Super Nintendo control pad, but it had a different function back then. But anyway, by pressing that, I can swap characters over. Also, you'll notice Cecil has a darkness ability. This is very different from the darkness ability that you're probably familiar with. I'm sure there's a couple of you who saw that and are thinking, Kyrix, why aren't you using darkness? You'll wipe him out. I'll show you why. Well, I won't show you why here, but I'll show you why shortly. It functions very differently. In the other versions of the game where it exists, because it's not in all versions, but in the ones where it exists, Cecil will hold his sword horizontally and fire a wave of dark energy that just demolishes everything. It saps your hit points, but it does so much damage that in the early stages it's worth it. That's not how darkness works in this game, though. And that one little difference makes all the difference. And yes, I'm making it a point to get all corners of this map done. That'll become apparent shortly. I already said why it's apparent, but it makes sense to show you as well. Another potion, that'll be useful. There's a reason for that. I want one more random encounter. Preferably something small like imps or goblins or whatever the hell they're called in this game. Come on, random encounter. Thank you. That'll do. This is a kind of a silly reason for doing this, but there is a reason. And note, Kain and Cecil both have MP. There's a reason for that too. Basically, I can give them certain augments later on that will use MP. In a normal game, Dark Knight Cecil and Dragoon Kain do not ever get MP because they don't get magic. And like I said, certain augments will give them magical abilities. Not spells, but abilities that cause magic. And in order to, if I want to get that to Kain, he's going to need magic to use it, so he has MP. He just doesn't have very much. Yes, I mean to ignore your warning. The reason I wanted that random encounter was so I could turn off auto battle before the game got any bright ideas of auto-assigning attacks. Now, let's show off what darkness does in this game. Ooh, that hurt! Note the dark aura. And the little thing that says darkness right underneath his name. Basically, I've supercharged his sword with dark energy, and he's going to attack thusly. I think I have time to get one more jump in before it happens. And if I have time for one more jump, I have time for one more attack. And if I'm wrong, we're all dead. God, that hurt. Nope. I botched it. I fucked it. I fucked it. Oh, God. We're gonna wait and see if I live. Come on, Kain. Ooh, barely. Yes, yes, yes. This is the thing. At least for Final Fantasy IV, 6, and 7, the first boss is always like this, where you can't touch it at a certain point, or it'll do evil things to you. I guess Kain can use one too. One more, because he's going to be draining his health using that darkness. I really should have bought items before I did this crap. Alright, Kain, get airborne. So 1 jump, 2 strikes. If I want to avoid, you know, what just happened. Oh, God, that hurt. And my darkness seems to have worn off. Come on, do your thing. Do your thing, you stupid friggin' foggy lizard! Thank you. And now I wait. Come on, turn back into a dragon. There we go. Good dragon. This should do it. All done. And thus falls the first boss of the game. No deaths yet, let's keep it that way. And by deaths I mean game over. And I don't count Kain turning to stone as a death. But yeah, no deaths will not happen. Something will die. 5 potions for completing the map. That's why this whole naming way thing is important. Gonna run to the Village of Mist.
This is what we were sent to do?
He wished this village torched.
But why?
Why? their lot. Men who can conjure eidolons. Summoners.
Then the dragon we slew was her mother's?
You're the ones who killed her dragon?
Forgive us. We'd no idea this would happen to your mother.
His Majesty sent us to eliminate every last one of these people.
No.
Foul work, to be sure. But we'll need to kill the girl as well.
King!
It's her or us, Cecil.
She's a child!
You'd betray your king?
Betray him? Any man who'd wish for this is no king of mine.
I thought you might say that.
Then...
I owe His Majesty much, but not so much I'd soil the Dragoon's name in his.
then you're with me.
Baron's army is the mightiest in the world. Our flight means nothing if we remain alone. We must treat with other nations, share what we've seen. And Rosa, she must share our flight.
And she will. Thank you.
I'm not doing this for you.
Huh?
Quickly, we mustn't linger here. What of the girl?
We take her with us. Come. It's not safe here. Take my hand.
No!
We've no time. Use force if you must.
Stay away!
Wait!
Leave me alone! I hate you!
What's the term for this? Cutscene power something? Gameplay cutscene segregation? She's not going to get the power to do this for a long, long time. Speaking of which, you will never see a summon affect the world like this again. Ever. Oh, that's cute. There's little flame effects in the Village of Mist. Well, maybe cute's the wrong word, but it's interesting at least that they would make that detail. Ah, see that little thing next to the girl? That's another new feature to the game. We'll get into him later. It's kind of adorable, though, isn't he? Cute little bugger. Anyway. We're all alone. Kane's nowhere to be seen. Probably just went off to get a coffee break. We're a long way from the nearest latte. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit further. I know this is a long one. At least I think it's a long one, judging by the frame rates. But, we're just gonna... Alright. We're gonna call it here. Okay. In the future, I'm gonna try not to have these videos be so much of my rants and tangents about Final Fantasy VII. I'm sorry, I have to mention it at least once per video, or at least once per project that's Final Fantasy related. Someday I might do the game. It's actually very possible, and it's possible that my opinion will change when I do the game. Probably not much, but I could be a little nicer about it. Anyway, I hope you'll join me for the rest of this series. If you've never seen this game, this is amazing. It's an amazing game. And if you have, maybe this will inspire you to play this version of the game, the DS version, or any version. I know sometimes I've watched a Let's Play and just had to pick up the game and put it back in the system and play it myself all the way through again. So, that's enough rambling. I'm Kyrix, and this has been Let's Play Final Fantasy IV DS. See you next week. Bye-bye.